Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. On this special edition of Investing with Confidence, a holiday show giving away free tickets to an investing class right here in Bloomington. And that's the gift of giving, is actually financial education. They don't teach how to invest and trade in the financial markets in school, college. They should. But that's where we come into play, is help people with making smarter investing decisions. We're right here in Bloomington locally, actually Online Trading Academy on their 25th year, teaching those skills to make smart investing decisions, whether you're looking for short-term income or managing or protecting a portfolio like a 401k, an IRA. If you did happen to miss tickets to that investing class right here in Bloomington, just call 952-814-4410, or you can just text the word INVEST to the number 484848. We'll send a text back for you so you can get set up for this investing class. There'll also be a link in there with a YouTube video on what to expect in your upcoming workshops. You can kind of see a little preview on what's going to happen, and that way you can bring any questions that you have and ask Al any questions while you're here. That way you can get started on your investment journey. And Al, as promised, our number 7 widely held stock of 2021 by retail investors is that good old Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Feels like it's been around forever, but current price right around the $335 mark, and there was roughly about $2.89 billion in net purchases this year. Year-to-date performance, this one's up. We had a couple down ones there in a row there, but up about 46%. Mm-hmm. So let's talk through that a little bit and kind of give a little history, since you're a history buff, of Microsoft.
Well, you know what? Microsoft was one of the handful of companies that really benefited from the coronavirus pandemic, the shutdown, because a lot of people were working from home, and it has products that actually help people that are working from home. Yeah. Everybody knows Microsoft. Most people probably use a Microsoft product. And again, it's one of those that benefited from the pandemic.
Actually, 156% since the drop in Corona.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't steal your thunder there.
No. I mean, it's a great company, strong company. It's a company that is, the top of its field, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But back in the year 2000, when we had the internet bubble burst, in the build up to that internet bubble, there were a bunch of tech companies that went out of business, but there were several that did really well during that time period. Mm-hmm. Microsoft was one, Intel, Cisco, Dell, Microsoft. But you know what? If you had bought Microsoft at the peak of the market in the year 2000, and then you rode down the bursting of the bubble, and then you rode down the bursting of the real estate bubble, the price of Microsoft was the same in the year 2017 as it was in the year 2000.
That's crazy. I mean, just think of investors bought it right now, and let's just say it does go sideways for another 16 years.
Sure.
Say you buy 1,000 shares of that. That's a lot of money that's tied up and doing nothing.
Right. Those are lost years for you then, where you could have maybe benefited from something else. But then at some point in time, it did move up. If you go back, even just in the year 2021, if you go back to March and I think probably again in May, you're going to find a couple of really good, strong demand zones. Because what happens, even though a company is doing well, it never moves in a straight line up or down. There's always kind of a retracement, which gives you another opportunity to move in. But
what do you mean by demand zone? Is that where? Is it very similar to how we buy and sell anything in our everyday life?
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah. Just to kind of clarify that, a demand zone is an area where there are buyers waiting to get into the market. And by buyers, I don't mean me and Josh. I mean buyers like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. They can move the market with their entry into a position and their exit from a position. So what we're looking for is what they're showing us on a price chart. And again, that's one of the things that we teach our students and we'll talk about in these classes. It's how to identify really where their unfilled orders are, but we have identified with a high degree of accuracy where they're going to become filled orders. So it gives you an opportunity to get in, which lowers significantly the risk of your trade and also increases the profit potential. So there are a couple of great opportunities there with Microsoft, and there will be more as time goes on.
Yeah, great company. I mean, it's been around for a long time. It's just being able to understand the right timing, as Al was talking about back in 2016, 17 years where your capital did nothing.
Right.
So that's why it is important to time the market, learn those techniques and skills, basically buying at demand, selling at supply. That way you're doing things that hopefully like what the institutions are doing and not against them. As we were talking about earlier, we have some of these stocks we've been talking about that are actually down, and they're the most held by retail investors.
Yeah.
So let's talk through that. I mean, say you have a cell phone, and you're going to, I have 10 buyers for one cell phone, and they want to buy it for $500. I can raise that price until there's only one supply for all that demand. And when you flip that, it's the same thing. So it's just being in the right position, when to get in your position, but also when to realize your profits, and that's protecting and then learning how to do that.
Right. At the end of the day, really, the only thing that moves price are buyers and sellers.
Yep.
If there are more buyers than sellers, price is going to go up. If there are more sellers than buyers, price will go down.
Yep.
So the really important thing is to be able to identify where they are on a price chart, which is what we do. We teach you how to read the story that a price chart tells.
Yeah, and where you get started out is actually these investing classes. You actually teach these right here in Bloomington. I mean, a lot of people come to these classes wanting to know more about their investments, how to get in, how to get out, where to buy them, but also which stocks are the right ones for you based on your objective. So if you want to learn more about that stock investing, just call 952-814-4410 for an investing class right here in Bloomington. It's free. When you do that, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit as well, just for attending and getting set up for this investing class. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. So call 952-814-4410 or text the word invest to the number 484848. So Al, here's one that I just got to kind of talk about this for a second, because this is a goal that everybody should have. It's not. It's possible because it happened. So we have Tesla, the number 8 most widely held stock of 2021 by the retail investors. Net purchases roughly around $2.74 billion. Year to date, it's really only up 32% if you think about it. But here is a goal to have. We have this Elon Musk, just great, I mean, he tweets something and everybody does it.
Yeah.
But he tweeted something out the other week, and he said he is going to pay $1 billion in taxes this year. And I'll tell you what, that is a phenomenal goal to have. Just think about that, $1 billion in taxes. But you have a Tesla, which is a great company out there doing big things with electric vehicles, roughly around... It's been hovering around that $1,000 mark here,
down a couple $100 from its high.
Yeah, it hit $1,240 roughly, and as doing this show, it's at about $1,050 per share. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this stock. It's a phenomenal mover.
Well, you know what Tesla really is? It's a tech company run by a genius that just happens to have a car. The guy is a genius, and he's going to do amazing things. He's already exploring space. The things that are going to be available with the cars, the electric vehicles, but the computerization, the artificial intelligence that's going to be used is just going to be phenomenal in how it's going to change the way we live and commute. Tesla is a great company, but it doesn't go just straight up. We just mentioned it's down a couple $100. So again, these are companies that there's going to be an opportunity to purchase. A lot of people are thinking right now, you know what? It's out of my league. I can't get into it. One of the things that we'll talk about in these classes is how to participate in companies like Tesla or even Amazon or Google that have extremely high prices to their stocks, how to be able to participate at a fraction of the cost of the stock.
Yep.
And it's using options, and we talk about that. It gives you an opportunity. If you think you've missed out on these, you really haven't. There are some great opportunities down the road.
Yeah. Do you think when he was talking about selling a lot of his stocks, do you think that was to reduce his tax liability?
That's what he said.
That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. They sometimes do as I say, not as I do. But, these guys are smart people. They know what they're doing, and especially with these social media sites. They know how they can manipulate the public, too.
Sure.
And that's why it's so important, as Al was talking about in, I believe it was the last segment, talking about how to read a story, how to read the story, which is a price chart. And for our YouTube watchers, I mean, we're looking at the price chart of Tesla right here. Phenomenal opportunities, but here it moves fast. We'll say from May to 2021, up about 123%. We've seen a drop from November just down to looks like in a month and a half, it dropped 30%.
Yeah.
So this is a high flyer, but that's why it's important to protect your positions. You know, say someone owns shares of stock, they've seen it. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So being comfortable and confident with your investing decisions starts with education.
Exactly.
And you actually teach investing classes right here on Bloomington to give people education, learn how to make smarter investing decisions in their income accounts and their 401ks or IRAs. So just call 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for this investing class, or just text the word invest to the number 484848. When you do that, you're going to receive a text back with a link. Pick this date, and you're going to receive a financial quick start kit just for attending. Al, we got a couple more stocks to talk about. As I had mentioned, a competitor to probably one of the best companies that we have here in the United States coming up next.